the Chinese government has been embedding its hackers into our infrastructure here in the United States for years. And now those Chinese cyber attacks are at an all-time high, according to our very own FBI Director, Chris Wray.
China's hackers are positioning on American infrastructure in preparation to wreak havoc and cause real-world harm to American citizens and communities if and when China decides the time has come to strike.
So the background on it is this. In 2023, you had Microsoft raise the flag on a Chinese state-sponsored cyber attacker known as Volt Typhoon that was looking to target U.S. critical infrastructure. Earlier this month, you then had the FBI, CISA, NSA, and all of our Five Eyes partners issue a release noting that Volt Typhoon and Chinese state-sponsored cyber attackers have actually infiltrated our critical infrastructure here in the United States. These are civilian targets. That means they're in our water supplies, our transportation networks, our energy networks, and our communications networks. And not only have they been inside of them, in some cases they've been inside of them for years. A couple of reasons I want to raise this. First is it's a good example of why tech diplomacy is so important. And by tech diplomacy, we mean government, business, and technology working together within a country and then across all of our partner countries in order to help secure high tech. So that's the good news. It's a good example of tech diplomacy. But the bad news is those attacks by the Chinese government are still at an all-time high. So it's not enough. And we have to do more. So what do? Here's three things. The first is, in May of 2021, the White House issued an executive order about securing our nation's cybersecurity. And what that does is encourage all U.S. federal agencies to adopt a zero-trust cybersecurity. And zero trust means this. It is a model that assumes and it acknowledges that you're already operating in a compromised environment. And we know that to be true. It assumes that a breach has already occurred. It assumes that there's a threat both inside and outside of the network. So there's no trust. There's zero trust. And what it does is require then continuous verification in order to access the bare minimum amount of information within the network. Our partners in Taiwan embrace a zero-trust architecture. NATO is developing an alliance zero-trust policy. And so with this executive order here in the United States, there are requirements for all of the federal government to meet certain zero-trust standards. And that has to happen by the end of this fiscal year, which means September of 2024. So let's get that done. And maybe we can even get it done before September. Number two, here's another thing that we can do. At the Kroc Institute for Tech Diplomacy at Purdue, we have a Global Tech Security Commission, and on that commission, we're bringing together industry leaders and government leaders and tech experts on the issue of cybersecurity, among other critical tech sectors, to train and to educate and to develop executable strategies that help scale and to enhance and accelerate all the work that we can do, not only within the United States, but across all of our allies and partners to enhance our cybersecurity. And then thirdly, at the Kroc Institute, we are soon going to be launching our Tech Diplomacy Academy, which is going to help train and educate on critical tech sectors, on critical issues like cybersecurity, on concepts like zero trust, so that government, technology, business, and citizen leaders are all educated, informed, and empowered in order to help fortify our own cybersecurity and ensure that all critical technologies help advance freedom.